So we are going to start with another phase of the different set of steps we can take for Hyper-V. We are going to start with setting up the nested Hyper-V virtualization. So for this, I'm going to share my screen where I'm going to have the Hyper-V setup. In the Hyper-V setup, I'm going to connect the Windows Server 2019. Then I'm going to go to the server manager where I will go to manage, add roles and features. Here I will click on next, select the server that I want. And from here, I will select the Hyper-V feature. When I add it, an additional set of features are added, which I will say add features. And then I will click on next. And again, in the select features, click on next. In the Hyper-V, I will also click on next. At the create virtual switches page, I will select the Ethernet adapter. This will be the Ethernet adapter, which will provide access to my physical network. I will also click on next. At the virtual machine migration, I will allow this server to send and receive live migrations of virtual machines. And then I will click on next. At the default stores, all right, I will again, I can see that there is, an option to browse. I'm going to go to browse. Go to C drive. And make a new folder called VMs. I'll click OK. Once again, C drive and the VMs folder. I will then click on next. And I will select restart the destination if required. I will click on yes to confirm. And then I will go ahead and install this role. For this particular setup, there is a possibility that the machine may reboot twice. Let us wait for the setup to complete. I will go to the, I will log in with my password. Go to start. Go to the server manager. Click on the local server. And it looks like that the feature installation is still in progress. Let us give it some time. Looks like it is successfully completed, and I will close this now. You can now see that there is a change in the V Ethernet. I will click on this, go back to the V Ethernet network interface. Right click on the properties, go to the IP version 4, click on the properties. And there it appears that the IP address is not properly used. I'm just going to cancel this. It's going to check again. So it looks like it is not properly copied. I'm just going to check one thing, okay? All right. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Let me just check. All right. So it appears. So if you notice over here that the Hyper-V extensible switch is the one that is enabled here. Okay. This is to allow the external virtual machines to share the interface. Okay. I'm going to just cancel to keep it the same. Now I'm going to go here. Okay. Now this one, however, now this is supposed to have been the IP version 4 address, which we had previously copied. Let me put it here again. All right. So this is 192.168.2.46. And the DNS server is 192.168.2.1 and 207.164.234 and 193. All right, so these are the ones that are important. Let me say okay. And close. Okay, so this should be unidentified network now. Status. Details. Why is it not working? Close. Let me again go back and check. So properties, IP version 4. Why is the default gateway not working? I put it correctly, 192.168.2.1. Let's see if there are any problems in the network, because I believe it should be fine. Troubleshooter didn't find any problems, so close the troubleshooter. Then I think it is working fine now, because we just needed to make sure that the network connections are fine. Let me go to tools. And the Hyper-V manager. So our Hyper-V manager is now ready for use, and this is inside our Windows 2019 machine. I am going to click on the virtual switch manager. There, if I say no, so under the virtual, this is the virtual switch manager. I can see this is my virtual switch adapter. But this is my Microsoft virtual adapter. Let me call it let me leave it as is, okay? I don't want to say anything. But let me create a new one, which is your internal one. Just minimize this and let me refresh it here. Okay, and I can see now there are two. One is this Microsoft Hyper-V. Let me actually change the name of this one to, okay, so give me a minute. I'm gonna go back to the tools, Hyper-V. Go to the virtual switch manager. Let me call it external virtual switch. All right, and then let me refresh again. All right, so I have an internal virtual switch and one external virtual switch. All right, so now I see both of them over here. In the internal virtual switch, let us just see. Okay, so this is my internal virtual switch. Sorry, let me go to the properties. IP version 4. Right, so diagnose. All right. Now let's go ahead and let us configure in some other roles so that we can set up our system. So I'm going to go back here, go to manage, go to add roles and features, click next, click next. If you can see, I now have an IP address here, 2 IP addresses for me. Click next. Select the DHCP server. And also one more server, right? So let me do Windows deployment service. Let me say add features. Next. 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 Install. Let me then close. Gonna expand this next to the IP version 4. In the actions plane, I will define a new scope. Next. I'm going to put a start IP address. I'm going to click next. You can see the lease duration is 8 days. I'm going to click next. I will say, no, I will configure these options later. Let me click on next. Then let me click on finish. I can see there is a scope now. I'm going to go to more actions. Activate. Once I've done that, I will close the tool. Go to the tools. Go to the Windows deployment services. I will go to the servers. configure server. Then click on next. I will select a standalone server. Next. Click next and yes. At the PXC server initial settings, I will respond to known and unknown. Click next. And then I will click on finish. All right. All right. I will right click on boot images. Go to boot image and then I will try to look at the location. So this is the one, right? Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna cancel this once and I'm just gonna minimize this. What I will do is go to the downloads. There I will just right click and mount it. Just give me a minute. It may take 1 or 2 minutes to mount it. So it's still mounting, so please give it a minute. It's saying, yeah, open. So this is the one, okay? SS ending in DVD, okay? That's my boot image. I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna browse again. Yep, this is the one. So here, I will go to sources. I will go to .vim, open. Then I'm gonna go to next. Next, and the summary remains the same, next. And then I will wait for the image to just get added. And then I'm going to finish it. Now I'm going to right click on install image and I'm going to add an install image. Let it be. Next, I'm going to go to browse, select install.vim. Click next. Add the available images. All 4 are there. Next, next. And let us wait for all 4 of the images to be added. All right. And I'm going to do finish. Going to go back to my Windows Server essay. I'm I will go to all tasks and I will start. And it looks like we have successfully started our Windows deployment services. Now, let us go to the Hyper-V Manager. I am going to right-click, go to New, Virtual Machine. And I put in gonna click Next. And I'm going to select the internal virtual switch. Next. And here I'm going to select install the operating system from a network-based operating system. Okay, so previously I've done this. Now I'll do network-based operating system installation. Click Next. And then I'm going to finish it. Then I'm going to connect to it. Then I'm going to start it. Oh my God, I think I needed to press. Okay, I'm just going to shut this down because I think I didn't press the F12 key on time. I'm going to do this again. All right, because I needed to press the F12 key, but I didn't do it on time. I'm going to do this again. Let's download it. It will download. It will look at the DHCP server from the internal. Press F12 to boot. And I have, yeah. So now it is contacting the main server. And yes, it is booting the file. I'm so sorry. I think I did not press F12 at the right time, because of which just it caused a delay. I'm sorry about that. Just give it a few minutes to load. All right, so you can see over here that this particular operating system has loaded from the Windows deployment services. I will actually go ahead and I will click next, and you can see that it's loaded from here. And it is asking me to put in the details of the username. I will go ahead and I will put in the information. Server SA administrator. Now I can choose the flavor of operating system I want. So let me choose a lighter version because I don't have that much. I just have 4 GB RAM allotted for this machine. I will choose the Windows Server 2019 standard version. All right. I'm going to click next. And you can go ahead and see that the disk space is being asked for. I will also go ahead and click on next. Now the setup will be initiated and the steps will be taken to go ahead and get the files ready. Let's restart now. Now this time I will not click on, yeah, so PXE boot is aborted, and just wait for it. It will go ahead and it will restart maybe again. Let's see. Let's go ahead and let's set up our system now. I am going to go and say next. I think this is okay. These are the license terms. I must accept them. I'm going to say accept. I will put in the password of the administrator. And then I will click on finish to finish all the settings. And here I can log in into my machine and go ahead and look at the administrator and enter to log on. All right, I'm going to now turn this machine off. And with that, I'm going to now once again create another virtual machine, but this time we are going to use a separate kind of tool, which is known as Sysprep. And I will import this virtual machine template, which is for Windows Server 2019 VM1, to create a new virtual machine called Windows Server 2019 VM2. So for this, I will go to Start. Let me go to the File Explorer. I will go to the C drive, Windows, System 32. Then go to a folder called Sysprep. And then go and double click on the sysprep.exe. Within the sys preparation tool, I will select I think there is one mistake that I have done. Actually, I need to do this operation inside the Windows Server 2019 machine. So my bad. Let me actually start it first. Okay, so my bad. This needs to be done from inside the machine. So just give me a minute. I will first need to start this machine, and then I will show you what needs to be done next. So this is my Windows Server 2019 VM1. From inside this virtual machine, I need to go to C drive, Windows, System 32, Sysprep. Then click on sysprep.exe. So here, and I'm gonna do OK. I think Sysprep is working and it will shut down this machine. So let's just wait for it to finish working. All right. So looks like the machine has now turned off, and I'm going to close it. Now from the Windows Server 2019, I will click on Export. And in the locations, C, VMs, and then click on Export. In the Hyper-V Manager, so it is still exporting, so we need to wait. The Hyper-V Manager I'm now going to go to the import virtual machine option. So import virtual machine. And I've selected the templates. All right. And in fact, I'll double click on this, select this over here. Then I'm going to click on next. I'm going to say copy the virtual machine and create a new unique ID. And then click on next. I'm going to store it in a different location. Click on next. Click on next. And then I'm going to finish it. So looks like we have gone ahead and we have installed this. I'm going to right click this and rename this machine as VM2. All right. This is the one which is just created. And I'm also going to connect it and start it. Let's just wait. Just give it a minute. Now let me go ahead and let me set up the OOBs. Over here, I will click on Next, accept the license and terms and conditions, and put in the password. Finish. I'm going to log in into the machine. I'm going to click on Do Not Show This Message again. Then click on the cross. Gonna cross this from here. And I'm going to turn it off. All right. So with this, we have finished our setup.